everyone, welcome to SKU Digital Classes. I am NIVEDITA Alexander, and today we are going to take one entirely new topic, which is a poem in your BSc B.Ed and BA B.Ed Foundation course, and this is the poem called Solitary Reaper. Now, who is the writer of the Solitary Reaper? The William Wordsworth is the poet of this poem, and it's a very beautiful poem which we are going to see, and I'm also going to explain you all the poetic devices stanza wise one by one. So let's begin with the bit of introduction about who William Wordsworth was. Now this poem is actually a lyrical poem. Now when I say lyrical poem, that means it has a rhyming scheme. Any poem which has a rhyming scheme is called a lyrical poem. That means rhyming scheme. Okay, the poem which does not have the rhyming scheme, they are called free verse. Okay, so this poem has a rhyming scheme. Every stanza have a different rhyming scheme, and hence it is a lyrical poem. Now one more very important thing, it is English romantic poet William Wordsworth has written this poem, and he has written it in probably 1803. It is based on the background of a Scottish countryside, which is a very beautiful countryside, as you can see, very beautiful landscapes and all, and he was traveling. It is actually a vision rather than an imagination. When I say he's observing something, and then he penned down his observation, his view, as in the form of the poem. So it is not an imagination, it's a vision. This poem was inspired by the poet's trip to Scotland. So he was traveling to Scotland along with his sister Dorothy Wordsworth in 1803, and there is where he was traveling to. It is a beautiful village, as I told you, the countryside of Strathire in Scotland, and that was a parish in Balquhidder. Okay, so Strathire is the village name, and Balquhidder might be a county name in Scotland, and parish, what is parish? Might be a church. Okay, this is for some church purpose or for some religious purpose. He must be traveling to this village, and when he was traveling, he saw a beautiful lass. Now what the lass means, a young lady. So she was reaping. Reaping means harvesting. Reaper, the one who harvests the crop. She was reaping the crop, and at the same time she was singing some sad song. Despite being sad, it was so melodious that this poet, the writer, William Wordsworth, gets completely swamped up into it, and hence and he was actually enjoying that sadness, the melody of that sadness. So that's why it is an antithesis. Now this is one poetic device, very important. Be attentive on this antithesis. What is antithesis? Who gets joy in sadness? No one. So when there are the contradictory things, like the joy in the sadness of this lass who is singing this melodious song, the poet is so swamped up with the melody of the poem that he was enjoying that, and that's why the enjoyment in the sadness is anti, that's why this is the entire poem is an antithesis. So here, now plaintive means, this was written in 1803 and was published in 1807 in his own collection of poems, which is poems, and it was in 2 volumes. Now it is a snapshot. What's a snapshot? It's a direct snapping of whatever he visualized or whatever he saw. He mentioned it in the form of poem. So it is a snapshot of a young woman working alone in the field. Now as the title of the poem, which is Solitary, Solitary means lonely or a single woman. So she's working in a field and she's singing something. Now the poet does not know what she's singing. Probably that is a dialect of a Scottish language, which is Gaelic. Now what is Gaelic? Gaelic, there are the various type of tribal communities in the northern part of the Scotland or the hilly region, which is the Highlands. Hilly regions are of course called the Highlands, and Celtic, these are the tribal communities, and they have a separate distinctive kind of a language. So the poet is unable to understand the language, but that language is so melodious, the song is so melodious that he's completely drowned into it and he's enjoying that. So this is the language. Nova Scotia is the northern part and it is newly made Scotland, okay? Highlands of the Scotland and the northern Europe, clear? So now here she is singing a plaintive song. What is the plaintive meaning? Means sad song. The way she is singing it clearly sounds as if it's something sad what she is singing, but it is very melodious. The poem conveys the theme of ironic beauty. See, ironic means weird, something which is contradictory. Ironic beauty of melancholy. Melancholy is again something which is totally sad. Sadness, clear? So it is beautiful because it is sad. So this is an antithesis, clear? Nothing can be beautiful in sadness, but here it is beautiful in sadness. Over more positive feeling because it is melodious. Its melodiousness, the joy is projected despite of the song being sad. So that is why this is antithesis, because despite it being sad, what poet is expressing is he's expressing the joy within himself by hearing that sound, that melodiousness, clear? So now let's move on to the next slide. This was the slight introduction about the poet and the entire poem. Now this poem, a little bit of technical points about the poem. So it is a ballet. Now this is pronounced as a balla or a ballet. Ballet means when in a complete poem an entire story is being told. This is also called legends. Okay, so it is a ballet. So when entire story is composed in a form of a poem, it is called a ballet, while being a piece of lyrical poem. Now why is it a lyrical poem? Because it has rhyming scheme. It has rhyming scheme, very important. This is a 32-liner poem, and 32 line means the Aurora. Now what is Aurora? There was a poet whose name was Laura Lemaka on her name because she invented these 32-liner poem, and hence that was called La Aurora, clear? So this is a 32-liner. Now these 32 liners can be divided in various forms in the form of verses. Now these verses can be in the form of 8 line, 8 line, 8 line and 8 line, happens to 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, happens to 32 line. Or this could be divided into 6 line, 2 line, 6 line, 2 line, 6 line, 2 line. So 1 set, 2 set, 3 set, 6 line and 2 line, clear? So this can be the division of the Aurora, this can be the division. Now this 8-liner stanza, these are the stanzas, clear? 8-liner stanza is called an octave or octet, clear? Now 6-liner stanza is called sestet. 2-liner stanza is called couplet. From 6 sestet, from 2 couplet. So this could be divided this way. Now the specific quality of this poem is it is an octet, it is an Aurora, and it is an octave. The stanzas are of 8 liners, hence the stanzas are octet. Now 8 line are called octave or octet, as I already told you. This is iambic tetrameters. Now what are iambic tetrameters? Very important, pay attention here. Iambic tetrameters are, the tetra means 4, okay? Tetra means 4. Meters means lines. So now you understand 4 lines, right? 4 lines have iambus. Now what is iambus? Iambus is a stress levels of the syllables. Again, syllables. Now what are syllables? Syllables are the stress sounds in any line or a word of a vowel, okay? Now to explain you in a better way, you have a one unstressed syllable and you have a one stressed syllable. How I can explain you? For example, the vowel sound is called a syllable, okay? For example, if you see water, so you see 1 and 2, water. So this is one syllable and is 2 syllable. Clear? If you see eat, now although there are 2 vowels, right? 2 vowels, but the sound is only one, which is of eat. So this is a stressed syllable. So the sound is 1, hence it is called one syllable. Okay? So when there is a stress, one stressed syllable and then one unstressed syllable, that is iambus, and when it appears 4 times in a meter, then it is called tetrameter. I hope you understand that. So the entire poem has a sense of antithesis. I've already explained you in the previous slide what antithesis is. Since despite mentioning that the lass is singing, lass, again the young lady, I told you, young lady singing a sad song, it gives the feeling of joy to the listener because of its melodiousness. So it is antithesis. Now iambus, a metrical foot consisting of one short, just as I already explained you, example, short or unstressed syllable and one long followed by one long or stressed syllable. When this formation is repeated 4 times, it is called tetrameter, and iambus, the stress level. Clear? Okay. Now coming on to the next slide, let's begin with the paragraphs, I guess, stanza. So first stanza, and I'm also going to explain you the literary devices, what they are. So let me read that first for you. Behold her, behold, her single in the field, yon solitary highland lass, reaping and singing by herself, stop here or gently pass. Alone she cuts and binds the grain, and sing a melancholy strain. Oh, listen, for the wail profound is overflowing with the sound. Now clear. See, I'm going to give you explain you the rhyming scheme first, and then we will move on to the rhyming words as well. So the rhyming scheme, if you see, field, there is no word which matches the field. So if we say A, then lass, there is no word, okay, lass and pass, see, B, okay, herself, there is no rhyming word for that. So first line is A, second line is B, let's say it is C, okay. So then grain and strain are matching, so it is D, and profound and sound are matching, so it is E. So if you see what the rhyming scheme will be, A, B, C, B, A, B, C, B, D, D, E, E. This is the rhyming scheme. And now the rhyming words, lass, pass, strain, grain and strain. Lass and pass is one set of rhyming word. Grain and strain is the second set of rhyming word. Profound and sound is the third set of rhyming words. So 3 sets of rhyming words are there. Now behold. Behold means see, observe, dekho. Okay, see. And again one more thing, oh listen. So these 2 things means reader is wanting, the writer is wanting to involve his reader and directly addressing see. listen. This is called apostrophe. So in line number 1 and line number 7 you see apostrophe. Clear? The writer is involving the reader. Single in the field. See, there is one girl who is single in the field, no one other than her, which is the single means solitary. Okay, yawn. Yawn is archaic English which means that. Okay, it can be plural, it can be used for plural, and it can also be used for singular. So that is singular and those are plural. Here we are using it for the singular girl. Yawn, that solitary highland lass. Highland means the girl from the hills. Lass means a young girl. Okay, reaping and singing by herself. So what she is doing, she is reaping, she is chopping the crops, harvesting the crop. At the same time she is singing all alone, and she does not know that anyone is observing her. She is just singing by her own. Stop here or gently pass. Now what the poet is saying, quiet, don't disturb her. Stop or quietly pass, don't disturb her. The song is so melodious that he wants to listen that more and more. Alone she cuts and binds the grain. She is cutting the grain, at the same time she is making the bundles of the grains. So she is binding the grains as well. Now, and sings a melancholy strain. Now strain means the verse, the paragraphs, the song. Strain, here the strain meaning a series of musical notes which you put it, musical phrases that that she is creating. So here it is a musical phrase. Clear? So she is singing. Melancholy means sad strain, some sad lines. Oh, listen for the wail. Now wail means valley. The wail profound is overflowing with the sound. The entire valley is overflowing with the sound. The sound is so melodious that it is echoing in the entire valley as if it is brimming with this sound only. Now here if you see overflowing with the sound is a hyperbole. It is an exaggeration of something. So this is a hyperbole. Clear? So this is a hyperbole in 7th and 8th line. Wail profound. Valley is the entire valley is like a bowl, and the sound is like something which is overflowing from that bowl. So this is an hyperbole. Now what the enjambment is? Enjambment is, here you see the enjambment, because this is one line, just to give it a rhyming or rhythmic effect. It is one big sentence. To give it a rhythmic effect, it has been broken into two lines. Clear? So when you see this kind of composition where there is no punctuation mark at the end of the line, that is called enjambment. So you see the enjambment here, 7th and 8th. Clear? Now coming on to alliteration, there is an imagery also. Now where is an imagery? In the 3rd line, reaping and singing by herself. He's giving a complete image of a girl, what she is doing. Okay, then enigma in the 4th line, 1, 2, 3, 4, stop here or gently pass, is an enigma. Now what the enigma? The hidden meaning, what is being said. So hidden meaning, what the hidden meaning is, either stop here or quietly pass. What he is trying to say is do not disturb. So here what he is trying to say is don't disturb. So that is why it is an enigma. Okay, consonants is a repetition of consonant sound in the middle of the words. Clear? In the middle of the word. Now see, consonant sound in the middle of the word, and there is also an assonance. See, assonance. That is a repetition of vowel. Yawn, solitary. Yawn, solitary. Repetition of vowel sound. Land, lass. Repetition of vowel sound. Clear? So that is an assonance. Repetition of vowel sound in the middle or at the beginning of the word is assonance. What is consonance? Repetition of consonant sound, similar consonant sound in the middle of the words is called consonants. Now, where do you see consonants? Consonants is in the second and the fourth line. Las, the repetition of S sound, S words, and you also see pass. So these are the repetition of consonants, hence this is a consonant, so consonant sound, see. So this is a consonants, clear? So first stanza clear, let's go ahead to the second stanza. So we have already understood the first paragraph and the literary devices. Coming on to the second paragraph. Now let me quickly read the second paragraph for you, and then we'll also go through the rhyming scheme, the rhyming set of rhyming words and the literary devices in this paragraph. If you see, no nightingale did ever chant more welcome notes to weary bands of travelers in some shady haunts among Arabian sands. Now if you see here, chant and haunt, band and sand, so these are the rhyming words, set of rhyming words. This mean to A, this goes to B. If you see, a voice so thrilling near was heard in springtime from the cuckoo bird, heard and cuckoo bird, C, and then breaking a silence of the seas, among the farthest he breeds. Now he breeds again, seas and he breeds D. So the rhyming scheme, if you see, A, B, A, B, C, C, D, D. A, B, A, B, C, C, D, D is the rhyming scheme. The set of rhyming was chaunt, haunt, band, sand, heard, bird, seas, he breeds. So these sound similar. So there are the 4 sets of rhyming words. Now coming on to the literary devices and the meaning. So here, no nightingale, now the poet is expressing that this melody of the song is so sweet that no nightingale can have ever sung so sweetly before, neither any cuckoo bird. It is the melody or the sweetness of the melody of her song is so sweet that even the cuckoo bird cannot sing like her. So this, if you see, is a hyperbole. Line number 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Line number 1 and 6 is a hyperbole as well. At the same time, it is a comparison. Comparison means when you have to explain something by comparing in a very indirect manner with something. Okay, so that is a comparison. So it is also a metaphor. Okay, in line 1st and 6 is also a metaphor. At the same time, it's a hyperbole. Hyperbole is at one more place. Now, more welcome notes to weary bands. Weary bands here means the group of tired travelers. So this sound, the sound of her song is so sweet that the group, it's when any traveler who is tired, or the band, or the groups of travelers which are passing by hear that sound, they feel very soothing within themselves, and they feel that, you know, it is welcoming the travelers to come and listen. They will stop and listen to the song, as the poet himself is doing, of travelers in some shady haunt among Arabian sands. So it is like a shady haunt. Now what's shady haunt? Now here he is comparing, he is symbolizing the tiredness of a traveler from the arduous journey or from the difficult journey. In old days there were no vehicles. They used to travel either by foot or by horses. So they used to get very tired, and that tiredness he is trying to compare in a way of parable. Parable is by comparing something as if it's, the tiredness is, even though it's a cold place, the Scotland Highland, the Scottish Highland is a cold place, but it is being compared with the Arabian, see, among Arabian sand, the hot Arabian sand, the tiredness is compared with that. And the soothing, the soul soothing song is like some kind of a shady haunt. It is actually a green land in the middle of the desert where you can find some greenery and a little bit of water. It's also called oasis, okay. oasis, which is a green land in the middle of the desert where you can find some water and some greenery. So it is so soothing that it's like the shady haunt in the middle of the hot desert. So that is how he's explaining, in the form of metaphor or hyperbole, you can say. That is a symbolism as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fifth line. Her sweetness is being symbolized with the symbol, the symbol of melody, okay, our cuckoo bird, which is considered very melodious, and nightingale. So first and fifth line there is a symbolism as well. Imagery, he is creating kind of an image, or he is creating a kind of an illusion to explain his words in a proper way. So here you say illusion and imagery both in third and fourth line here. Then a voice so thrilling never ever was heard. So this is a hyperbole as well, never heard, the voice is never heard. In springtime from the cuckoo bird. So this is a metaphor, comparison with nightingale and in a cuckoo bird is a comparison. And then breaking the silence of the sea, even the roaring sea, the sound of the roaring sea sounds submissive in front of the melody of this girl's song. So amongst the farthest Hebrides. Hebrides is a group of island in the northern sea, in the northern part and in the sea. So this is what he is trying to explain. Now if we see see here the literary device, the repetition of consonant sounds at the beginning of the word is called alliteration. So this is an alliteration. Consonant sound, repetition of n sound, it is an alliteration. Okay. Now if you see Arabian, among Arabian, repetition of vowel sound, a, e, I, o, u, repetition of vowel sound at the beginning or in the middle of the word is assonance. Clear? Now if you see consonants, what is a consonance? Consonance, the repetition of consonant sound in the middle of the word in the entire line. The line should be the horizontal line, not the vertical line. So if you see here the repetition of a consonant sound, the repetition of a consonant sound, this is called consonants in the middle of the word. Illusion, he is creating some kind of an illusion. The tired journey is considered as a hot sand of the Arabian desert, and the soothing sound, the melody of the girl's song, he is comparing or giving the illusion of the shady haunt, like oasis. What is oasis? Some green place with water in the middle of the hot sand. So that is the soothing effect, the rest, the reluctant feeling that song was giving. Metaphor, the comparison to exaggerate something in a very metaphoric way by embellishing something with extra words or by comparing with the extra words. So comparison with the cuckoo bird and the nightingale, or the comparison of a voice is a metaphor here. Now enjambment, again, see, if you see enjambment, there is no punctuation mark here. There is no punctuation mark here. So that means this line is a complete one sentence to give a rhythmic effect that one big sentence is being broken into 3 lines. So since there is no punctuation mark, this is one sentence and there is an enjambment in first and second line. Similar situation we see in the 5th and 6th line. Clear? You can see the similar situation in the 5th and 6th line. There is an enjambment here also. This sentence is one big sentence, one sentence, but to give it a rhyming effect, it has been broken into 2 lines, and at the end of the previous line there is no punctuation mark, so you can see the enjambment here also. Clear? You can also see the enjambment here. This is one sentence and is broken into 2 lines to give a rhythmic effect to the poem. Okay, so symbolism is in first, and here it is being symbolized. Clear? If you see the symbolism is a nightingale, symbol is a cuckoo also. Then imagery is in the second line, weary band, and the third line, shady horns. Weary band is an imagery. What is weary? Tired, or someone which is exhausted. Bands, the group. The group of traveler is a weary band. Shady horn, horses. That is an image. The image of horses, or the something which gives you peace, something which soothes you. This is being explained here. Clear? So here we end up with the second stanza, coming on to the third stanza. Third stanza is will no one tell me what she sings? Now he is asking a question. He could have asked, can someone tell me what she is singing? But he is, reverting the question, will no one tell me? So this is called a rhetoric question. Retro, you must have heard the word retro, which goes back. So it is a rhetoric question. So rhetoric question, this is one rhyming scheme here. Here in the first line there is a, I'm sorry. In the first line there is a rhetoric question. Because he's going in reverse and then asking the question instead of directly asking the question. Then he's asking if someone can tell me what is she singing, because he's unable to understand. It's in a Gaelic language. He's understanding that it's a sad song. He's understanding it's very melodious, but he's not understanding what exactly she is singing, and hence he's asking the question. And at the same time, he's imagining something. Probably it might be this kind of a song, or probably that kind of a song, or what exactly she's singing in the song. Perhaps the plaintive number flow. Now number means, you might have heard, and it is very trendy. You say, when you say number, oh, it's a very nice number, or it's a very happening number. Number is a song, okay? Number means a song here. So here is again an enigma. Then perhaps means he's imagining, he's thinking something. So perhaps, so if you see perhaps and plaintive, the consonant, repetition of consonant sound at the beginning of the word, it is an alliteration. Will no one, a repetition of a vowel sound, that is an assonance, repetition of l sound in the middle or the end of the words, that is a consonant. So this is assonance. Vowel sound in between, consonant sound at the end or in middle, and at the beginning, alliteration. Beginning of the word, the consonant sound, alliteration. Clear? For old and happy, here again consonants. Far off things, here again consonants. Clear? For old and happy, far off things, and battle long ago. Or is it some more humble lay? Humble lay means something which is very ordinary, some ordinary song. Humble means very ordinary song. Now, he's asking the question, at the same time he's responding to his own question, okay? And imagining what it could be, the song is all about. Perhaps the old plaintive means sad number. Now, if you see in plaintive, how many times I is repeated? This is an assonance again. So perhaps he's thinking some old song which she is singing, which is coming from generation to generation, or unhappy far off thing, probably a battle long ago, or maybe she is singing something about some unhappy incident, about some war or some battle in the past, and that she is singing here. Then some humble, or might be some kind of an ordinary thing, the day-to-day troubles which a poor person or a poor farmer or a reaper faces, might be about that. So he's imagining all the familiar matter of today, some familiar matter, which goes on daily basis, on routine basis. Some natural sorrow, loss or pain might be some kind of a natural sorrow, some kind of a loss or some death in her house, or some kind of a loss by the crop or by the climate or by the nature, or pain, or might be something which she has felt in her, the pain of her own heart. That has been and may be again, which could be repeated, which had happened and which can again be repeated. So the song might be of all these kind. So if you say the questions are being asked in the line number 1, line number 8, and there is one more question which is being asked somewhere. So rhetoric question in line number 6 also. Yeah, here is a question mark which has been hidden under this sign. So these 3 lines are the rhetoric questions. Then alliteration, as I told you, perhaps, line number 1, what will, what, W sound, clear? And then if you see consonants, I've already told you, in the entire lines you can see the consonants. Enjambment here, see? This no punctuation mark at the end of the line, so this is an enjambment because this is one sentence, and one sentence for the rhyming effect has been broken into 2 lines, and the previous line when there is no punctuation sign, that is called enjambment. Now they're coming on to the rhyming scheme. Sing and thing is A and A, flow and ago is B and B, they are sounding similar, clear? Lay and day is C and C, and pain and again is D and D. So the rhyming scheme will be AB, 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 CC, DD. Clear? So this is the rhyming scheme. So second and third paragraphs have the same rhyming scheme. Now here we end up with the third paragraph. Coming on to the fourth paragraph, let's read the fourth paragraph real quickly. Whatever the theme the maiden sang, whatever the theme the maiden sang, give me a moment, here is see, the and the, repetition of the sound is alliteration at the beginning of the word, and it's a complete sound, as if her song could have no ending. So no ending, there is no ending to the song. So here A, B, C, then B, then D, then D, then E, and then E. So sang, there is no word similar to sang, so then ending and bending are same. Work, there is no word matching to work, so it will be C. Still and hill, D. Bore and more, E. So the rhyming scheme AB, CB, DD, EE. Okay. Now whatever the theme, see the continuous repetition of the sound. So this is alliteration. Okay. Then as if her song could have no ending, it's like so beautiful, so smooth and so flow that it is not going to end, even though he knows that it is going to end, but he says as if the song has no ending. Consonant sound everywhere. In the middle you see this is consonants, this is consonants, this is consonants. Repetition of vowel sound is assonance. Assonance at the beginning of the word. So this is assonance. And enjambment, you can see enjambment here, hill. There is no punctuation sign. This has been broken into 2 lines. So there is an enjambment. This is the paragraph with the least amount of literary devices. Let me quickly explain you what the meaning is. Whatever the theme the maiden is singing, whatever, he is not able to understand on what theme she is singing. He just understands it's a sad song and it's very sweet and melodious, as if her song could have no ending, and there is no ending to the song. I saw her singing at work, and or the sickle bending. Over means over. Over is over. As she bends, okay, as she bends over the crop, and with her sickle she harvests the crop and she works. I listen motionless and still. He is so petrified with the melody of the song that he does not move, and he is still and he is listening to the song. As I mounted up the hill, and as he gradually went up the hill, because he is traveling, right? Mounted the music in my heart I bore. It was penetrated in deep in his heart long after it was heard no more, and it kept on penetrating inside his heart as he moves by. It was never heard, and it becomes gradually it kept on becoming slow, and at the end it was never heard. So this is all about the poem here. Now quickly a recap of the poetic devices. What is the theme? Antithesis. Enjoying the outpouring of the painful song, hence it is an antithesis. Now the main points: a hard work of the lonely Scottish girl and her expression of sorrow. She is working and singing in the same time without being bothered about her surroundings. She does not know who is observing her. The speaker is listening and enjoying her song, and she continues as if she is outpouring the heart and pain of the lap of the nature. Whatever pain she is having in her heart, she is just pouring it out in the lap of the nature. Lap means a lap. Okay. A speaker, on the other hand, was enchanted by her song, as she claims that the song's sweetness is matchless. Of course, it is being compared with cuckoo bird and the nightingale. It's better than them. Thus she stops and enjoy its beauty. He stops and enjoys its beauty and melody, knowing it will not last. So he wanted that it is never ending. In fourth paragraph, he mentions it is never ending. Now, iambic tetrameter, I have already explained you. Tetra means 4, meters means the lines, the footnotes. So 4 footnotes are there. Iambus, what is iambus? A stress level, 1 long syllable and 1 short syllable in a line, which has been repeated 4 times in the footnote. Hence it is an iambic tetrameter. Apostrophe, when the listener is directly talking with the listeners in the very first paragraph, as he say, oh listen, oh see, oh behold. So these are the words apostrophe. He is involving the readers. Consonants, repetition of consonant sound in the middle of the word. Enjambment, when one big sentence is being divided into multiple lines to give a rhyming effect, and at the end of the previous lines there is no punctuation mark, that is enjambment. Antithesis, entire poem, you can see antithesis because entire song is sad. At the same time, despite being sad, poet is enjoying that. So it is an anti, the contradictory things which are being explained. Hyperbole, exaggeration of something, anything which has been deliberately exaggerated. Okay, that is an hyperbole. Now what is okay, alliteration, the repetition of consonant sound at the beginning of the words. In a horizontal line. Assonance, repetition of consonant sound in the middle or at the beginning of the word in a horizontal line. Allusion or imagery, when reference has been given about explaining something by giving the parable or the reference metaphor. When decorating and making a comparison in a decorative way, that is a metaphor. Rhetoric question, when the question is being asked in retro, not in progressive way but in retrogressive way, then it's a rhetorical question. Symbolism, explaining something like a symbol, like a cuckoo bird, and she's singing like a nightingale, more beautiful than the night, that is a symbolism. So this is all the end of the solitary reaper. I hope you liked it. Until then, bye bye.